Well, thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY TV interview. I'm at the ASUS pop-up event at Pitt Street Mall, looking at the new 2023 range, and I'm with Elliot, also known as Muzelk, one of Australia's largest gaming influencers. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, tell us a bit about yourself and what got you into gaming.
I've been playing games basically since I was a kid. Definitely first got into it with got into it a bit aggressively with the original Xbox 360 and Call of Duty 2. But then before that, playing everything from, Pokemon to Time Splitters on like the Nintendo 64 and, Pokemon Yellow on Game Boy ever since I was a kid. And then about 9-10 years ago now, I started YouTube with an amazing game called Team Fortress 2. Then I started doing content on Blizzard's Overwatch. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I have been playing Fortnite.
And how's that been evolving over the past few years? I mean, it hasn't been on iPhones for a while, but it's been powering ahead on PCs and Android.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy ride. I've never really seen a game take over. I don't think anyone's seen a game take over the world quite like Fortnite did in those initial few years. It's definitely kind of, settled in now. It's become kind of, I think, part of the furniture in the gaming space, but they updated so much. It's still a great game to play.
Now, you work with ROG a lot, as you're obviously a big fan. What do you love about the brand and the tech?
I mean, I love how the laptops, this sounds like a weird thing to describe. They're just very solid. They don't feel floaty. They feel like they're kind of, all the keys are very responsive. They sit there. Things just work, function. Obviously, performance is pretty incredible. I think I'm constantly blown by whenever I work with the ROG team, how I can be running a game on the same settings that I might run them at home on this tiny compact laptop, and it's still hitting more than 100 frames while running pretty much everything at max. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. So you've seen the new models here today. What has impressed you the most?
Again, honestly, the fact that even with all the graphics updates that we've had in this brand new chapter, they can still be hitting over 100 frames on max graphics is pretty mind-blowing. And then on top of that, super high refresh rates. Again, having that in something as compact as a laptop is incredible. And I might expand that answer if I can hopefully steal one, take one home, and give it more of a test out.
And true gamers really love to play on PCs as opposed to consoles because they're just more up to date.
Yeah. I think that the ability to kind of really constantly be running things at the highest possible level is just something that's pretty invaluable. And especially when it comes to content creation, you really love having that power and also that ability to kind of push games to their maximum graphical level so that it looks as good as it can.
So what ROG features help you to be a better gamer and also create that awesome content?
I think with every game, I think most people can agree. I remember the old arguments that, no, 30 FPS on consoles, fine, you don't need more. You do need more than 30 FPS. It sucks. And, I think, obviously, once you go to some crazy levels, FPS can get a bit diminishing, but definitely being able to get, 144 frames, that really consistent performance, really responsive keys, and just know that everything's going to work when you need it to is really good.
So what would you advise your fans watching to look for in a gaming laptop?
I think you're looking for something that is, nice and future-proofed, is definitely like durable, comes from a brand that isn't just going to be buying parts that are going to completely fall off the chassis after the first 2 months. I think high refresh rate, decent performance, and, calibrate it to your own needs.
Now, I think you may have mentioned a couple of these games before, and certainly Fortnite, but what are your favorite games to play?
Definitely still love Fortnite. Really excited to see what UEFN brings for the game, which just got announced today. TF2 always got a special place in my heart because that was kind of my first major love, my first big addiction. And outside that, I dabble in Dota, and then I rage quit Dota, and then I get back into Dota, and then I rage quit Dota. It's really a big love-hate relationship. I can't really go into it.
So where can people find your channels? I think you may have mentioned that as well, but tell us about it.
Little website called YouTube. Type in Muzelk. It's a weird name, but imagine that the Pokemon Mew bought an elk, it would be Muse Elk, but then it's spelled totally different to that. It's M-U-S-E-L-K.
And that's the only place?
Well, I got a Twitter and an Instagram I don't post on, and a TikTok where there's some really unfunny memes, but I'd stick to YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. Anything else we should know about you before I ask you some closing questions?
I had 4 coffees this morning.
So I think you already mentioned your first computer and your first. I was going to ask you about your first game, but that would have been on the I don't know the game, the Genesis or one of the Sega.
Game Boy, Nintendo 64. Yeah, not quite all the way back to the OG days. I'm a 94 baby.
Yeah.
So, pretty close.
So my second last question is to ask, what is some of the best advice you've received in life that helped you to get where you are today?
Oh, wow. I thought we were talking about laptops, not life advice, my God. I think it wasn't necessarily something I got told, but definitely something I learned. Do what you love. Don't let anyone else tell you what to do with your life. Obviously, I am very lucky where I ended up, but I think regardless, I think it's a lesson that I'd like to carry anywhere. I think I was on track to become a lawyer when I dropped out of law school, and can you imagine me being a lawyer? That would have sucked, and I would have been awful at my job because I would have hated it. So yeah, definitely whatever you can find that you love, do it.
Well, you're living your best life as opposed to being a lawyer in a role-playing game that you may not have enjoyed.
Exactly. Now I can role-play a lawyer in a video game.
That's right.
And I'll actually win the case.
So what is your final message to ITY viewers and readers and to all your fans watching?
Subscribe and don't forget to comment and like.
Well, Elliot, Muzel, thank you very much for your time. I know you've got to get back to all the
playing Fortnite.
The action,
very busy day.
So I'll wish you the best of success, and I hope I can talk to you again in the future.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.